So one thing mainly what happens over here is we say qulaya, qulaya, right? There's no qalqala, there's no double sound in the lam. It's just qul and then ya. قل يا أيها الكافرون. And careful not to say kafirun, kafirun. It's a very smooth sound, one sound. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. One thing to be careful for, alhamdulillah, it's written in the Quran, these rules, but then the mad, right? The squiggly line after wala, and then there's a squiggly line after ma, right? That refers to that the letter, that word should be stretched for 3 alifs. 1, 2, 3. 3 alifs. That's what 3 alifs means. It's just this. It's not 3 seconds. It's called 3 alifs, right? So we have to make sure you say wala. You have to stretch that, and then it's not ma a'bud. Also is wala antum, and then after that is a. You have to make the a, because after tum it's kind of hard to say a, because the ma makhraj is from the lips. It's the meeting of the wet portions of the lips, and then immediately you have to go back to the throat, because the ain is the middle portion of the throat. So there's switching over here. So it's very hard. But you have to keep track of every single letter. We'll read this ayah one more time. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ. So the question naturally may arise that after ana there's an alif. So why did I say wala ana, and why didn't I say wala ana abidun? Again, this is how the Quran is written. Ana means I. Ana means I, but how it's written in the Arabic language is with an alif. Alif, it's written hamza, noon, and then there's an alif. Ana, but it's pronounced ana. Anywhere in the Quran when a word comes like that just as ana, then it's going to be pronounced ana, na, ana. And this is just how the word itself is written. Sometimes you'll find a circle on top of it, but it's not filled in. That just means that you're not supposed to stretch the word over there. You'll find that in Surah Ad-Daha. So over here is wala ana. So read this one more time. Wala ana abidum ma abadtum. Again, make sure the green over here. I'm sorry, I don't have my laser pointer today. But the wala ana abidum ma. What rule is this? Anyone remember what rule this is? The green is colored in. It's not. This is the mean mushaddad. What? Huh? Idgham. Idgham. Which one? There's mim sakin and nun sakin. Remember how I said that tanween? Tanween is just another way of saying nun sakin, right? You see abidumma. You see that tanween on top of the dal? That's a dhammatain. You see that? Do you see that tanween? Right? Tanween. There's 2 fathas, 2 kasras, or 2 dhammas. Do zabar, do zair, do pesh. So on top of this, there's a dhammatain. There's 2 dhammas, which is just tanween for dhamma. That's another way of saying nun sakin. So nun sakin, the idgham rules, right? It's divided into 2. There's the complete and there's the incomplete. Complete one, there's 2 letters. I'm just going to say this quickly. So the complete idgham is lam and ra. When you see a lam or ra after nun sakin or tanween, then there's going to be complete idgham. Will there be ghunna? There's going to be no ghunna in complete idgham. Example is mir rabbi. Min is min rabbi, but you connect it becomes mir rabbi. There's no ikhfa, there's no idgham, there's no ghunna. I'm sorry, there's idgham, there's no ghunna. Another example is waylun li kulli. Waylun li kulli. It's waylun li kulli. But it's completely merged together such that you don't hear the noon anymore. You don't hear the noon, but there's no gunna as well. Wailul likulli. That's complete idgham. Incomplete idgham, there's 4 letters. Ya, waw, mim, and noon. And what comes after this? Ya, waw, mim. Mim is right after. Because mim is after a noon sakin, there's going to be idgham. Idgham naqis, incomplete idgham. And because there's incomplete idgham, there's going to be gunna. So this is idgham noon sakin. You see the mim after, so you think it's mim sakin. But there's the tanween means it's noon sakin. After that, there's there's only that rule right there. So we'll read this ayah one more time. وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ. Make sure you read abidum, not abidum. Abidum, because the word is abid. Abid means a worshipper. وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ. Yeah, it's one of the only, some exceptions are in the Quran. Ana is one of them. Ana is always pronounced ana, not ana. Yeah, ana is one of the exceptions. There's a few of them in the Quran, handful. You can count them on your fingers. So ana is one of them. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٍ. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So again, over here, nas. This is a na, which is an empty mouth, and then sa, which is a full mouth. So nas. You can't say nos, because you can't give noon a full mouth. See, this is very technical. You can't say nos. You have to say nas. You start off empty, you end off full. Because noon is not one of the full mouth letters. It's one of the mustaf'ila, one of the light, empty mouth. But sad is one of the full mouth letters. So it's just full mouth, empty mouth. They both come from the exact same makhraj, pronounced the exact same way, just one is full mouth, one is empty mouth. So there's as and there's as. Both are the same. The only thing is one is full mouth, one is empty mouth. That's the only difference between the two. Pronunciation is the same. And they both sound the same as well. They both make a hissing sound. It's called safir. In Arabic language, the sifat of safir. It's a hissing sound. Sin and sad both make the same sound. The only thing is one is full mouth, one is empty mouth. So instead of nas, it's nas. Another thing is at the end of this ayah is wal fath. So these ayat, it has a sukoon on top of the ta. When it has a sukoon on top of the ta, which means that you have to connect it to the ta. And if you're stopping, you have to connect it to the ha as well. So there's 2 sukoons. And how do you read that? Easiest way to read that is practice saying just fat. Just keep saying fat. And then at the end of that, make a ha sound. Fat, fat. You can't say fatah. It's not fatah. You can't give a ta a fatha and say fatah. Because you have to connect it to the ta. So it's fat, fat. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. So in wara, it's not wara, it's wara because the ra has a fatha on top. Ra mutaharrik, ra with any type of vowel on top of it. If it's a fatha or a dhamma, then it's always going to be full mouth. If it's kasra, zair, it's always going to be empty mouth. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره So fir, that ra, is going to be pronounced empty mouth. Right? There's sukoon and the letter before has a kasra. So it's going to be fir. This is another example. Another example is fir'aun. You don't say fir'aun. You don't say wastaghfir. Fir. It's fir. Because it's empty mouth. And there's two has coming in the beginning. It's fasabbih and then there's bihamdi. Now with ha, if you overpronounce it, it's going to start sounding like a kha. Ha, ha, ha. You start overpronouncing it, it's going to start sounding a little bit like kha. Kha has a different makhraj. Ha is a different makhraj. Be very careful. So it's fasabbih and then bihamdi. You'll notice that all of these letters, fa, in fasabbih, sin, ba, ha, mim, dal, all of these are empty mouth letters. None of them are going to be pronounced full mouth. So it's fasabbih bihamdi, and then you go rabbika. There's actually only the ghain and the ra in this ayah. Wastagh, and then there's rabbika. Those are the only two letters that are full mouth. Rest of them are empty mouth. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب So in the end of this ayah, you'll oftentimes hear people saying instead of watab, instead of making the normal qalqala sound, the double sound, it's held a little bit. Right? Instead of saying watab, you say watab. You see how I'm holding it a little bit? The reason for this is on top of the ba, you'll see a shadda. At the end of the ayah, you'll see a shadda on the ba. Watab. Right? It's watabba if you connect it. No, if you're stopping, you don't pronounce it. If you're continuing, then you say watabba. If you're watabbama, if you're connecting it. If you're stopping there, you don't pronounce that fatha. See, this is you can say this is like a super qalqala. There's a couple of these in the Quran. A super qalqala basically means you have to hold the qalqala sound a little bit. You have to hold it. That's the reason why you say watab. You don't say watab. Like in قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. You don't say قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. But you find that in different ayat, right? In like when you're seeing surah, when you're reading the word haqq, right? Sometimes it's haqq. Oftentimes when they're reciting the Quran, you say haqq. Inna dhalika lahaqq. There's a shadda on top of that letter. That's why it's like a super qalqala. You hold it for a little bit. Just like that in Surah Al-Lahab. You'll notice in all of the other qalqala in this ayah, in this surah, none of them have a shadda on top. In fact, you'll not notice that in any of the other surah, any of the other surahs in the rest of the surah. You only notice this in Surah Al-Lahab, the first ayah. Right? There are other examples as well. There's an example with ra. When there's a shadda and you're stopping on it, there's a different way of pronouncing that as well. You have to hold the ra a little bit. But over here, we'll focus on the ba. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabb. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. Important part right here is just focus on the letters. Focus on the letters. Don't read through memory. Read through your eyes. When you read through the memory, when you're reading through your memory, you're not looking at the letters anymore. And when you're not looking at the letters, you're not focusing on the rules. So read with your eyes. That's why I want to read some of the Quran today. When you read from the Quran, then you can't read from memory because some of us don't have this memorized. So then we have to focus on the letters. Just like that, I want you to focus on each letter. That's the main thing over here. So ma aghna, the ghain is full mouth. So it's agh. And then there's a na, and then there's anhu. There's a ain over there, not alif. I'm sorry, not hamza. It's not anhu. It's anhu. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. And if everyone is having trouble making the ayn sound, it's just practice. Keep saying ah, just like the la is a very hard letter. I remember explaining this letter, right? It's when the back portion of the tongue touches the gums of the premolars and molars. That's how dad comes. Very difficult. Very difficult. It's not a normal letter at all. It's not a normal letter. It's one of the hardest letters. Like I said, there's books written on just this letter. That's how crazy this letter is. So it's a little bit hard. So just like that, we have to practice all of the other letters. Like gha, a. Next ayah. سَيَصْلَى نَارًا ذَاتَ لَهَبٍ وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ. Over here is difficult. This is when you actually can see the difference between ta and ta. Again, with your eyes you'll notice that's حَمَّالَةَ. There's a ta over there, and then it's ha. طب. So it's حمالة الحطب. So ta and then ta. Full mouth, then empty mouth, then full mouth. حمالة الحطب. And you can't say حمالة الحطب. Hatab is not right. And you can't say حمالة الحطب. Two different letters. So I have to hear the difference between the two letters. There must be an obvious difference between the letters. Because first off, they're not the same letter, so that means they're pronounced differently. حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. Did you have a question? Which ones? You can if you wish. The ta just means that it's preferred to stop. Yeah, it's preferred to stop. If you want to continue, you can continue as well. So over here, fi jidiha habalum, there's a stretch over there, and then there's mim, another. So we went over this rule already. This is the rule of idgham nun sakin, right? Lun, habalun, that's tanween. Tanween is the same thing as nun sakin. You connect it to a mim, you have idgham nun sakin, one of the letters of idgham, incomplete idgham. So lum, and then there's min and then ma, mim masad. So this is again idgham, nun sakin. Next surah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. You'll notice how strong Allah's name is over here. Huwallah. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu Samad. When you're saying Allah, the word Allah, you're literally using your whole mouth. Allah, Allah. There's a, then there's la, then back to ha. Right? It comes from, you go start from here, then you go up here, then you go back down. Allah, a, la, and then ha. Allah. We should practice saying, it's a great exercise and a dhikr as well. It's just repeating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name, just repeating it over and over and over. Allahu Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. You'll notice over here two rules. وَلَمْ يَكُلْ لَهُ يَكُلْ لَهُ. There's a nun sakin followed by lam. This is, what is this? Idgham nun sakin, correct? Idgham nun sakin. This is complete. The nun is completely merged into the lam. So it's not even pronounced. And when it's completely merged, there's no gunna. Other rule is kufuwan ahad. Kufuwan ahad. What rule is this? Idha. Yes, because there's a tanween after it is a, what letter is after the tanween? Hamza, correct? There's a hamza, and hamza is what are the letters of the throat letters. Hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghayn, kha. So hamza is one of the throat letters. And when tanween, if after tanween or nun sakin there's a throat letter, then the nun is completely going to be pronounced, and there's going to be no gunna. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Important thing, you can't say yakullahu. It's not yakullahu, right? Lam is only full mouth in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. Just lafdullah, that's all. Other than that, it's always going to be empty mouth. وَلَمْ يَكُلْ لَهُ, not وَلَمْ يَكُلْ لَهُ. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ نَكْسُورًا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Now pay attention, the a'udhu, this is the hardest part of this surah. The a and then u, a'u. You can't say a'u, not a'u. That's, you have to hear each letter. A'u, a'u. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. Important, sharri, not sharri. I explained this. This is one of the examples of sharri, because ra is mushaddad. It has a tashdid, a shadda on top. And if it's a fatha or dhamma, it's going to be full mouth. If it's kasra, it's empty mouth. In this case, there's a kasra, min sharri. Just because a sheen has a fatha before it, doesn't mean that ra will be read full mouth now. It's still going to be empty mouth. من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. Make sure we do the ghunna. The ghunna, you have to stretch it. So rin, and then there's a min. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And there's a tha. Tha, the makhraj of tha, the tip of the tongue when touching the edge of the thanaya ulya, the top two teeth. That's how tha is pronounced. So we can't say sa. It's not sa, it's tha. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس. را full mouth. رب. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. Now all of these words, an-nas, they keep being, you're stretching them because it's noon mushaddad, right? Now noon has a shadda on top. Noon has a shadda on top, no matter what, there's going to be ghunna. That is the rule that's applying for each of these. من شر الوسواس الخناس. Now kha is a full mouth letter, correct? The first one is kha. So kha is not khannas. Khannas is wrong, it's khannas. You see the difference? It's very subtle. It's not khannas, it's khannas. من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. I have it written up here too. Let me just get the ayat out. Any hafal over here? I forgot which surah, which ayat this is. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure I know the ayat, so we can also read it from the Quran. So it's Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 268. If anyone wants to read from the Quran, I also have it up here. If anyone wishes to read from the Quran as well. Surah Baqarah, ayah 268. From this Quran over here, it's on page 46. On page 46. Because the only reason is that we're going to be reading from this Quran anyway. For the rest, majority of our lives at least, we're going to be reading from a Quran that probably doesn't have Tajweed rules. So it's better to try to implement the rules. This has all color coded, so it's easy to see. The reason I'm asking is if you want to read it from here and see, and take off your training wheels and try to read it from here and try to identify the rules, that's fine too. So does everyone have it out? Ayah 268, page 46, Surah Al-Baqarah. It's in third juz. You found it? Anyone having trouble finding it? I can quickly open it if you can't find it. Yeah, the beginning of that ayah. Okay. You guys have it? Okay. So we'll start reading from there, inshallah. I personally prefer reading from here too. So I'm going to read here and then I'll identify the rules on the screen as well. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الشيطان يعدكم الفقر. So over here, make sure the ta, full mouth, faq, that's also a full mouth, faqra. الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء. So it's not highlighted in this slide, but after kum bil fahsha, wa ya'murukum bil fahsha. So over here, what rule is this? There's a rule that's over here. Ikhfa mim sakin, mashallah. Ikhfa mim sakin is a mim sakin. After it, there's a letter ba. Wa ya'murukum bil fahsha. So you have to stretch it for 1 second. Gunna. Wallahu ya'idukum maghfiratan minhu wa fadla. Again, it's not maghfira. There's two full mouth letters. Maghfiratan minhu and then fadla. Full mouth letters, we really have to pay attention to them. I'm going to read this whole part together. Wallahu ya'idukum maghfiratan minhu wa fadla. Wallahu wasi'un alim. It's un'a, two ains back to back. So we have to pronounce each one. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with reading slow. Nothing wrong with reading slow. So oftentimes we want to read as fast as we can, but we mispronounce the letters. It's better to read slow with tajweed than to read fast and complete more. يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء ومن يؤت الحكمة. So when you're stopping on the hamza, it's yu. So make sure you have that it's called like a jhatka sound. Like when you're speeding and then the light turns red and you have to stop suddenly. That's like the sound of hamza. It's like you stop. So yu. وَمَن يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. That rule. What is that rule? Ranka. What rule is that? Ikhfa nun sakin. Ikhfa nun sakin. Anyone know all 15 letters off the top of the head? Anyone had a chance to review them? For nun sakin, ikhfa nun sakin, remember I said there's 15 letters. We should try memorizing. Anyone had a chance to memorize them? Yeah, excluding huruf halqiyya, excluding letters of idgham, excluding ba, all of these. The rest are letters that come that have ikhfa, and there's 15 of them. So we should try memorizing them. Ta, tha, jim, not ha, kha, da, ta, tha, jim, dal, dal, ra, no, not ra, za, sin, shin, sa, da, ta, da, fa, qaf, kaf. So there's 15 of them. We should try memorize all 15 of them. وَمَا يَذَّكَّرُ إِلَّا أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. So a lot of a over here. It's illa and then u and then albab. So you have to make sure you pronounce all of the a. Illa ulul albab. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن نَفَقَةٍ أَوْ نَذَرْتُم مِّن نذر فإن الله So over here, nadhar, this is not nadhar, nadhar, right? Because there's a ra, sakin, before it there's a dal with a what? Fatha on top, correct? So it's going to be read full mouth. So nadhar, tum, and then this tum min, so tum, that's meme, over here you see meme mushaddad. I'm sorry, this is idgham, meme sakin. You see the meme sakin, right after that there's a meme. Correct? This is yarmalun, and then the 4 idgham naqis, incomplete idgham. There's 4 letters, ya, waw, meme, noon. So there's a meme right after that meme. So this is going to be idgham meme sakin. And there's going to be ghunna. Min nadhrin. So this is noon sakin. And over here, noon sakin is after that there's a noon. So over here, this is just going to be considered like a shadda over here, because it's min nadhrin. So because of that, there's going to be a stretch. Now, ghunna. And nadhrin fa'in. So this is what? Ikhfa nun sakin. Right? Because fa is one of the letters that if after tanween or sakin, if fa appears, there's going to be ikhfa. Inna Allah nun mushaddad again. We'll read this ayah one more time. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن نَفَقَةٍ أو نذرتم من نذر فإن الله يعلمه وما للظالمين من أنصار. So it's min an. Why? Because there's a noon sakin and after is a hamza. So which rule is this? Ithhar noon sakin. Ithhar noon sakin, you don't make any ghunna, you make the noon very apparent. So min an sad is one of the letters which if it comes after a noon sakin, there's going to be ikhfa noon sakin. وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. إن تبدوا الصدقات فنعما هي إن تبدوا الصدقات فنعما هي وإن تخفوها وتؤتوها الفقراء فقراء not فقراء because ra has a fatha on top, so it's going to be full mouth. وتؤتوها الفقراء فهو خير لكم. Over here you'll notice this is idgham nun sakin khayrul lakum, but it's complete because it completely merges into the lam. That's why there's no ghunna. فهو خير لكم ويكفر عنكم من سيئاتكم والله بما تعملون خبير. Interesting enough that this is a good example for khabir. I don't know if you guys remember the ra rule, right? The third exclusion for ra, when there's a ra sakin, before it is another letter with a sakin, before that is a letter with a kasra or fatha or dhamma, what happens? Now that was divided into two. First one was that is there a ya sakin before the ra sakin? If there's a ya sakin, khalas is going to be empty mouth. If there isn't a ya sakin, then we have to look at the letter before that again. If it's a fatha or dhamma, it's full mouth, kasra, it's empty mouth. Example is right over here. It's khabir. So you stop there, so ra is going to have a sakin. Now before that ra sakin is which letter? Between the ra and ba there's a letter. There's a ya. There's a ya between the ra and ba. Now like I said, the ya also has a sakin. If the ya has a sakin, the ra, no matter what, is going to be read empty mouth. So it's khabir. Wallahu bima ta'maluna khabir. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Inshallah, we'll end over there. Tomorrow there's a couple more rules. There's only one more rule I want to discuss, the main important rules. I'm trying to go over the important rules for Tajweed. So last rule we'll go over is mad. When to stretch and how to stretch, and different specific places of stretching. Like over here you'll notice in fuqara'a. Why am I stretching it for that long? Instead of saying fuqara'a. There's a reason for that. We'll go over the reasons for that tomorrow, inshallah, and we'll do a little bit more reading. Other than that, inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to implement the rules of tajweed and give us everlasting relationship with the Quran. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Brothers are requested to rest up, inshallah. It's going to be a long night with the Khatam al-Quran and the dua as well, so please rest up, inshallah. Jazakallahu Khairun.